there! Welcome to the comparison video of 3 Hungarian styled bows. Before we start, I would like to show you what I have done the past weeks. So the last video was about the Tata quiver that I have built for my Griffin, and I was not finished with this build when I had the workshop with Jürgen Vollbach regarding wallet cover 3D modeling, and this is the result. Yet to come, still the highlights that need to be done for the bison. And because I wasn't so sure about the colors and how to use them, I waited for Jürgen to come back from his travelings. And in the meantime, I was so hyped that I started another 3D wallet cover. And this is a motif from Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, and this is Aloy. And so, yeah, for those who know the game, they will see what they will coming up. So this is nearly finished regarding the modeling, but it needs to be colored. And while I was doing this, Radu and his wife contacted me, and they wanted to have quivers as well. So one Mongolian style quiver and one Seljuk quiver. The Mongolian style quiver is about to be sewed. So the belt I've started sewing yesterday, and this is the Seljuk quiver in progress. So this is already modeled, and next step would be to color this one and dye. But she also wants a bow holder, so something like that. So the one where you get the bow inside. I call it bow quiver, although it's a bow holder. But there are other bow holders, so I struggle a bit with this naming. And I've started modeling the bow holder as well. So this is what I do when I don't shoot and don't take videos. So apologies that this video has a larger span to the others. Okay then, let's start. So before we get into the details, I would like to show you a typical 10th century Hungarian quiver. It's an hourglass quiver, steppe quiver, what you name it. It's been used widely amongst the nomad tribes in that time frame. And this one has been created by Norbert Kulsha. I hope that I pronounce it correctly. The artwork is by Batka. It's a Mongolian artist. And I asked for a Mongolian symbol because at that point of time I wanted to have a Mongolian quiver, and they had some kind of steppe quivers as well. So this is a mixture of the Hungarian shape and a Mongolian design on it. The quiver consists of wood. So it's a wooden quiver, and it's dyed or stained. And then there is a cowhide, a transparent cowhide in wet, pulled over it. And so the surface is very smooth, and this skin covers the painting. And so this is very, very beautiful, and the pattern here is always unique. So here where you can see this, this color here, there's the skin denser than on this and there and so on. Yeah, so this is what makes this quiver so beautiful. From the back it looks like this. It has iron attachments on it, so this is a bit of, I think it's for stability, and this one is here for the ridging. The ridging you need to attach yourself. So in this case I have take cords, and yeah, but can be belt as well. So you can see a small belt would be possible, and you need to have a belt to attach it. So the quiver only comes with itself. The size is depending on your arrow length. If you are a large guy and have long arrows, then you have a longer quiver than I have. So mine is suitable for 32-inch long arrows. Yeah, and it's a bit heavy. If you wear it, mind that you and you go downstairs, mind that you lift up the quiver, otherwise you touch the stairs with the iron frame here. But yeah, it's a masterpiece. So I know that the team, and I bought this quiver 2020, that the team has already tried developing this style of quiver for 7 years. So it's not an easy task to do. You can try it yourself, but yeah, if in that time I have bought it, I paid 400 euros, and I think it's worth it. So it's real craftsmanship. All right, and yeah, before I forget it, you put in the arrows that way, yeah, and you hear it. So there's some kind of felt or something on the bottom. So I don't know, I cannot look down under here, but yeah, you can hear it. What you have is a bit of rattling. Yeah. All right, that's the quiver. Next question is, who are the Hungarians and why are they called like that? Yeah, I've looked up the internet, and this is not so, comes from here and then they stayed there. No, it's a nomadic tribe. They have wandered around, and yeah, they call themselves the Magyars, and I've noted it down, so I'm not a historian, so please, if I say something that you know better, apologies. Yeah, so I'm depending on what's written there, so I cannot prove it, obviously. So I have noted down the tribe Magyars seem to derive from a nomadic tribe coming from Ural and settled down in the Pannonian lowlands. I don't know where the Pannonian lowlands are, but nevertheless, by the end of the 9th century. Other historians claim that the tribe should be called Magyar after taking the Carpathian area. Yeah, and I also looked up Paragon homepage because of the Griffin, and Paragon writes, from the late 9th to mid-10th century, settlements around Frankish-dominated Europe succumbed to devastating raids by bands of Magyars, the founders of what was become Hungary. The group of nomadic tribes, having recently settled in the Carpathian Basin through originating from the Urals, there we are aligned, were, like the Viking contemporaries, addicted to plunder of all kinds. So if you have met a Hungarian at that point of time, you better take cover. Their chief weapon in the endeavor was not surprise, though always useful in an ambush, but rather the powerful hornbow wielded by light cavalry, to which the most Roman Frankish military had little answer. So the Magyar called themselves Magyars, not Hungarians. But Europeans could hardly possibly distinguish between the Huns running around there as well, because it was around the same time frame, and the Magyars. So they only see there's one guy or a troop riding on horses with their bows, and from far behind you cannot really distinguish. And I show you why. For example, I have here a Hunnish bow. Yeah, you see there is the shape, you have long zias, you have here the horn plates, and then the Hungarian bow. Yeah, so from far behind, you don't see it really. Yeah, so the Hun bows are usually asymmetric, the Hungarian bows are symmetric. So there are a few other differences, but yeah, just imagine you see them from far behind. It always seems to be all the same. And maybe they have different heads, but yeah, you know, if you only get in contact with these tribes, if they attack, then you don't really pay attention to a head. All right, this is the Hun bow or Hunnish bow. Let me bring this inside first and then we continue. Okay, what's the definition of the Magyar bow? I've looked up the internet and found a nice homepage with a lot of information about Hungarian bows at www.archeryhistorian.com. You have the one picture here. It's a sketch of a Hungarian bow or Magyar bow, and we start with the handle or the grip area of 9 centimeters. So all numbers you can see here are centimeters. The handle section fades out to the bottom and the top at 10 centimeters plus, so in total we have 29 centimeters handle section. Then up to the one knee is 33 and one to the other is 31. I think if you would hold the bow you wouldn't even notice, and if so, I think that the longer limb will then be the top one. Then from knee to the end, so the dia section would be 23 centimeters, and the very top, so this is then the eye, and that would be 5.5 centimeters or minimum 4 centimeters beginning from the nock. And you see the lightly reflexed shape here as well. The handle is not flat, and it's not said how thick it was. So as you can imagine, there is not much left. So they have found fragments of this bow and tried to arrange it. So there was a bowyer, an experienced bowyer, who has tried to reassemble these things, and that's where the measurements come from. It's not that they have found a complete bow. For sure it were hornbows, so not laminators or something. Then I have summarized the characteristics that are listed on this homepage as well. So I shortened it a bit so that it fits more in this time frame. So the characteristics. It's a reflex, straight, it's a symmetrical bow, if we don't pay attention to the 33 and 31 centimeters. Non-contact zeers, of course. Plated reinforced zeers, which is only possible with a hornbow. The plate starts at the knee, so none of my bows has the specification. The plates are of red deer antler. The bow length is not longer than 59 inches in total. The zeer length is between 8.6 and 11 inches. Ear forehead minimum 4 centimeters, which is 1.57 inches. Hard to measure indeed with my tools. Handle section, as we had it, 29 centimeters or 11.4 inches. Bending length is approximately 64 centimeters or 25 inches. And the limbs width is maximum 45 millimeters or 1.78 inches. The angle of the ears are around 45 degrees or less. Okay, so now we know the specifications, and now we want to have a look at the bows I have. So first, this is my really first horn bow and my first horse bow, and or Asiatic bow. Before I had recurve takedown bows, and this is a real horn bow, so there is no artificial pieces on it, except originally. When I bought this bow, I didn't pay attention to letting it rest and so on, and checking all this, because I was just stringing it, and you string it with this band. Now you have your grooves, and you step then on this band and lift it up, and that's the same way you unstring the bow. Very easy. So the stringing device is very handy. And I was just shooting, and one day I recognized that there is a crack, and I sent it to the bowyer, and he repaired the bow. So this is his service, so that didn't cost me anything. and then I got back this bow. So the service is just great, and build quality is also good, but we come to this in a bit. This is the bow specifications, and now I need to look up because I don't have all the numbers in my mind. The bow has a length of 58 inches, strung it's 54. The nominal strength of this bow is 33 pound at 28 inches, and the 28 inches are also the max draw. Brace height is 6.5, and I think this is also because of this steep handle here. The arrow pass has a width of 26 millimeters. Doesn't seem to be that thick, but I measured it. The weight is not lightweight, it's 500 grams. The zia length is 15.5, so it's a bit shorter than for the Hungarian style bows. And the bending length is 37 inches, and that makes it a smooth draw. So the bowyer, Ralf Neumann, didn't plan to build a Hungarian style bow, obviously. Yeah, he was taking the shape of a paddle, yeah, thin sears in the end, so that there's not much mass here on the end for good speed, good performance. He was not thinking of Hungarian bows. And effectively, I think it's coming close. Yeah, so this is the reason why I take my first hornbow here into this comparison, although it's a bit of an outsider. So then, next one in the row is the Hungarian bow by Csaba Grózer. As you can see, I needed to modify the handle. The original handle is extremely edgy, and if you shoot, the bow vibrates a bit and that hurts in the fingers. And I needed to cover this, and so now it's quite bulky and not so nice anymore, but anyway. Biocomposites, yeah, and whoops, measurements. That was close. Measurements, 58 inches from knock to knock, 51.5 it's strung, nominal strength 34, we come to this in a bit, it's more. Then 32 max draw, and brace height is 7.5. Arrow path 22 millimeters, and weight 530 grams. So even a bit more than the hornbow, but this one has more massive zias, as you can see. And the zia length has 16 inches for both, and bending length 37 inches. The Griffin, laminated bow by Paragon, obviously shorter, and yeah, we don't have plated zias here, you can see that, but this for a laminated bow wouldn't do this as well. All right, measurements. 52.5 inches knock to knock. Strung, it's 45 inches, so much shorter than the others. Nominal 38 pound, and max draw is 31 inches. We have a brace height of 7 inches, yeah, so more than the others, obviously, except a bit less than for the Biocomposite. Arrow pass, the narrowest, with 21.7 millimeters, and weight 400 grams, so it's lightweighted here. The zia length, both are 22 inches, and bending length as well, 22 inches. So in total, we have here the shortest bow. And if you compare these, you already see it. It's a significantly different shape, although they're both Hungarians. And now we double check with the reference values we had before, mentioned before. Put it like this. So we see that the length knock to knock is fine for all three bows. So from that perspective, they are all Hungarian style bows. Length strung isn't given because, yeah, who knows? Yeah, so the fragments couldn't be found in strung position, so who knows? And the strength is something that was clearly individual. I think they were all quite strong bows, but I have no clue. Brace height is not known as well. But rear length, we have said 72 to 22 inches, calculated from centimeters into inches. And there is only one bow that has it, and this is the Griffin. The bending length, approximately 25 inches, is only by the Paragon bow, the Griffin. The other two have longer bending lengths, much longer. It's not even close, it's much more. The ratio between max draw and length knock to knock, what Armin calls the F value, is for the Hornbow 0.48. For the Biocomposite, it's 0.55. And for the Magyar, it's 0.59, so it's all percentage. So 59% for the Griffin, 55% for the Biocomposite, only 48 for the Hornbow. Then the handle section, inclusive fading out, it's approximately 11.4 inches. The Hornbow and the Hungarian bow by Csaba Grózer both have 12 inches, so a bit longer. And with 11 inches, the Paragon bow is in the specs. Limbs width, all fine. So the maximum would be 1.78 inches. They're all below, with 1.5 for the Hornbow, 1.4 for the Biocomposite, and 1.4 for the laminated. Angle of ears, I measured it on the ground yesterday in the unstrung position, and maximum should be 45 degrees up to, and the Hornbow has only 25 degree, and I think this is not really the good angle. It's less than 45, but I don't think that should be half of it. Yeah, so a bit closer would be better to match the Hungarian style bows. And Biocomposite and laminated both have the 45 degrees. And the ear forehead shouldn't be more than 1.57 inches. The Hornbow only has 0.8. This is really, really not much. And again, Ralf Neumann didn't plan to create a Hungarian style Hornbow. Yeah, and we see it here. Biocomposite has 21, and the Griffin has 1.57, so 1.57. So it's all fine. Yeah. Yeah. Then the recommended arrow weights are 9.8 grain per pound for the Hornbow, 12.5, this is 12 to 13, so I took the middle, for the Biocomposite, and 14 for the laminated, according to the Mambo archery table. Paragon tells me 9 grain per pound would be fine for this bow, and so I calculate then the 9. All right, and yeah, this is the first chapter. Design. So how close are the bows to the reference? So closest is the Griffin. Yeah, although it doesn't have horn-plated ears, and but in total the measurements nailed more often than for the other bows. The second is the Biocomposite. And even if we have here the plates, they're not starting from here. Yeah. So, but the other measurements are really good as well. So a lot of measurements nailed here too. And we have already said that the Hornbow isn't planned to be a Magyar bow. So of course it doesn't match these measurements always. And then the next question is how much they deviate from the length. That would be here my typical list I go through. And in this case, we do not have any deviations regarding the length, so they're all fine. And the ratio, there the winner is as well the Magyar bow from the Griffin, the laminated bow from Paragon. So the first chapter is dominated by the Griffin, but the point-to-point evaluation follows later.